Touchdown! San Francisco!
Here we are, Super Bowl Sunday. We still got to talk about the conference championship, trying to get these people in and out of their schedules to get them. Shout out to Ty right now. He's on his way to Fort Polk. Um, he has to go do his army stuff out there. I wish he was here because as a troll, which he really is, he's been trolling me all week since this first game we're going to talk about. We're going to go 49ers going into Philadelphia. To me, it was unfortunate, It was heartbreaking. I'll have Mario talk while he's smiling because he was trolling me too.
The
But
whole
to me,
time, the whole game.
to me, I think we got robbed from a historic game. I really thought that
Yeah.
if Purdy was up, it would have been a real good game to watch. It just sucked that it happened right on the first drive, and it was unfortunate to see a lot of things that happened that freaking first drive. You got Fred Warner gets hurt. You get Nick Bosa during the special teams gets swept up under his knee, so his knee's bleeding during the rest of that game. Then Purdy goes down. Then you had Josh Johnson go down. Shout out to Oakland. It just sucked. I hate that the season ended this way for us, but it is what it is. Congratulations to the Eagles. You're in the Super Bowl. I'm not taking nothing again before you go. I'm not taking nothing away from that team. That team is nasty. They are. But at the same time, it's really easy to beat a team when your running back's playing quarterback.
So I'm gonna come at this from a few different angles. All right. I'm gonna come from this from the I hate the Niners angle, and I'm gonna come from this from more of a unbiased angle. Biased. I was an Eagles fan going into it. Yeah, I picked the Niners to win because I thought they were gonna do it. They had the. I felt they had the better defense, and I thought that was gonna be with the key to it. But I mean, I enjoyed every minute of that game. Yeah, it wasn't close, but like anytime I can watch the Niners just get bodied like that, like, no, yeah, that's what I. All my family are Niners fans, minus me and my dad, and like my cousin's husband, who's like my brother. Like they're all Niners fans, so I hear this shit chirping all day, every day for the past 30 years of my life. So whenever I can watch the Niners falter, that's a win for me. So like, while everybody else is like, wow, this is like a blowout. I was an enjoyable championship game for me. All right. However, coming from an unbiased standpoint, I wish you would have saw a closer game.
Yeah.
I wish you would have saw. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, and I thought the teams were going to be way more evenly matched. Yeah, you got Brock Purdy with the injury, but the one thing that I didn't take into account was the Eagles' defense was better than I thought it was. When I was looking at the rankings, I thought they had like an average defense, but they were like first in pass defense, and like they were very underrated. And I didn't know that going into it, and that's probably my fault for not doing that research on it. But they had a very underrated defense. It's unfortunate to see Brock Purdy go out. I would have liked to have seen a closer game. Liked to have seen a little bit more of a what was a Kansas City game, the Kansas City Cincinnati game. But from a bias standpoint, it was enjoyable.
I'm with you with that defense.
It was enjoyable.
I'm with you with that Eagles defense. I did not know that this is the first time that 4 defensive linemen get 20 plus or double digit sacks each.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to know. But it's believable when you know who's on that front four. Especially what's his name that came from Arizona. The one that killed freaking Purdy.
Graham, I think.
No, not
right?
Graham,
I
not
think,
Graham.
no.
It's still Hassan. Hassan. I forgot his
Reddick,
first-
Reddick.
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick. Yeah.
Shout out to him. I told Eagles fans,
Also,
'cause I have a lot of Eagles fans. I tell them, like, if the roles were reversed and Bosa took out Hurts, we would have done the same
me-
exact thing. So
to me, it's crazy because you had him and you had Chandler Jones in Arizona, and I felt the Raiders had the better of the two, and I was fucking wrong. So look at that. So,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Chandler Jones
I
ain't
thought
that
they
bad
had
this
the-
year. But
I
Hassan
thought they
Reddick,
had the
I
better
didn't
of the
know.
two.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
did too, but I did not know Hassan Reddick was that nasty. Maybe it was the change of him going to Philly. I don't know, but
But
he
also,
wasn't like that
it
in
also.
Arizona. Like
But the thing is, like,
actually,
it
like
also helps when you have Fletcher Cox, you have Sue, You have Graham. You know what I mean? Like when you have a bunch of stud pass rushers and stud linemen, it helps everybody around you.
Yeah, it was. Hey, look, shout out to them again. I'm not taking nothing away from them. One thing I will talk about is what happens next for the Eagles and the Niners when it comes to the offseason. We'll talk about this later, but
Yeah,
I'm just hinting on that. But again, I'm sad for the team that I root for because it was unfortunate what happened. A
I'm not.
record, a record four
I'm not.
quarterbacks in one season. It was
Yeah,
sad.
that's tough.
It's
But
sad.
you know what? It's sad, but to overcome what they overcame in that revolving door of quarterbacks to get where they got is impressive.
It is
Like
impressive.
you can't be upset about, oh, we ran out of quarterbacks, because like how often does that happen?
Right.
I think the last team that ran out of quarterbacks was Arizona when Bruce Arians was there, and they were like on their third or fourth string quarterback. That was like 6, 7 years ago. So like
Very rare. Yeah.
to get to where you get to the NFC Championship game on what is, yeah, granted he's playing a lot better than a third string quarterback, but granted, what is your third string quarterback, and to get to the NFC Championship, that's impressive. And I think that's a testament to the Bush King Shanahan, to be completely honest with you. And I think
I,
that's a huge testament to his system and what he put in play to get through that.
yeah, Ty doesn't
So
think this way. I cannot wait till, we have a whole month before Washington comes back from Louisiana from his training. But I really want him to talk about why he thinks this is a Kyle Shanahan thing. Like it's his fault. Anyways, we're gonna go into the AFC side, which, like I said, during that Sunday, I was sick as a dog. I literally was in my deathbed, sad already because of the Niners game. But now we have to watch these two teams, and I was the only one out of us three that took my homeboy. So I, I think
no,
there was a lot of
I thought I
controversy.
no, I did pick Cincinnati, huh?
Yeah,
I did
you
pick Cincinnati,
you
yeah.
sided with Ty. Um, it was a lot of controversy towards the end of the game,
Yeah, I did pick
and it
Cincinnati.
was and it was believable to for Cincy fans to think that it was controversial because he barely touched the guy going sidelines, but it's Mahomes. Like that's
Yeah,
their golden boy. Like you're gonna understand. You have to understand. It sucks for that kid that did that because
that
that is the
Os-
play
Osai,
that
I think it was
determined.
his name.
Yeah, that's the play that determined this whole game. Even his teammate was like, there's videos where his teammates coming down the tunnel, like, don't you touch the fucking quarter. Like he was so mad, and it's sad to see. Everyone left. He was still on the sideline. Only one of his shout out to the teammate. I don't know who he is. Only one teammate stayed and helped him through this. You gotta think, man. You're a
Like
kid.
you got to
It's
you
the
got to
championship game. It sucks for this
yeah.
kid, and you guys walked off on him.
First of all, his boy that was yelling and was yelling at the wrong fucking player, rocking in the locker room like an idiot.
Yeah.
But like you're yelling at the wrong dude. The other guy's minding his own business, wondering why this dude's yelling at him. But like you got to feel for a kid like that. Yeah, he's 22, but like it I don't think that was the wrong call. I mean, that's not one of those things you let him play out, because like Mahomes was like 3 steps out of the fucking
Yeah.
out of the sideline. So like that's something that you have to call. But you got to feel for a kid like that. He's 22. He'll be back. I mean, it
Yeah.
happens. Mistakes like that happen. He's human. Like you can't like nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? We've all made mistakes like that, and just in life in general. So like you got to feel bad for Osai, but it happens. It is what it is. You learn from it. You move forward, and you don't let it ruin your career, because he's 22. He still has a whole decade ahead of him. You know?
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a life lesson. It's a game lesson for him. He's gonna come back better than ever. But I will say this about this game: it was I just couldn't believe a team can beat Mahomes 4 times in one year. That's the only thing I was
Yeah.
saying. But when it comes to the Bengals, I'm hearing a lot of things. We'll talk about it after we get our predictions in. But you know that kid T Higgins, he's not. It doesn't look like he's coming back. Like it doesn't look like it. He wants a lot of money to come back. So
Yeah, and like I don't I don't know what team's gonna pay for T Higgins like that.
Well, there's a
You
lot
know
of
what I mean?
teams.
Like,
We'll talk about that next. So we got
like,
the we
is he capable of being a one? Yeah, but I don't think he's capable of being a top 10, 15 wide receiver. I don't think he's a top 10, 15 guy, 10, 15 guy.
It depends where he goes. That's all I'm gonna say for now until we go into that. It depends where he goes.
Yeah, I guess.
So we got the championship games done. The Eagles from the NFC will be represented, and on the AFC side is the Chiefs. We go into the next week is the Pro Bowl. A lot of us was making fun of this. I don't want
Yeah,
to. I didn't want to make
joke.
an episode for the Pro Bowl, but I do want to talk about it because there's thoughts in my mind like where did the line draw for them to do flag football. And I literally shout out to the NRL Rugby League in Australia. They just had their Maori versus Indigenous All Star game, which sparks the whole season to start in March. They play full on rugby. Now, the only thing I can say is it's money. It's literally the contracts of these kids that are stopping them from playing full on contact football. And then another thing that I was saying before you go, because I know you want to say something
Yeah,
when it comes
yeah.
to NFL global like sites, right? You see how we went to Germany, you see in Ireland, you see in
Mhm.
London. Why not do that with the Pro Bowl? Why not give those countries our stars in one game? At once instead of bullshit games where you have the Cardinals come over and play another team. Like, why not give them the best product we have? Like how they used to do it. Go to Hawaii, right? Go to Hawaii right after the Super Bowl, not
Mhm.
before, because you just robbed those Super Bowl players a Pro Bowl spot to enjoy their self. Why not do that?
Yeah.
Why not go to Germany right after the Super Bowl and take your all stars and do it there? Just like how they did it back in the day. I don't get it, but I would like to talk about this.
How far removed are we from the Pro Bowls of the 2000s where you had Sean Taylor taking people's heads off, you know?
Oh, hey, listen,
And
and
like
I loved it.
I get it. All-star games are in all sports are meaningless, right? And like when you stack the All-Star games, I think you go baseball, basketball, football, to be completely honest with you. And and baseball used to have it where All-Star games meant something. The
Yeah,
winner had the home field advantage for the World Series, which I think was stupid, but it made it mean something. It's harder in football because remember they used to have the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl,
right. That's what I was
right? They used
saying.
to have it after the Super Bowl. So now you're getting all these meaningless Pro Bowl votes. Like people like Tyler Huntley are going into the Pro Bowl. Derek Carr, who had no offense to him, he's my guy, but he didn't have a great season. You know what I mean? So like you should put it. People want to watch the Pro Bowl to see the best players play, right? Granted, it doesn't mean anything because also people don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like they don't have in the NFL, they don't have the guaranteed money of baseball. They don't have the guaranteed
Right.
money in basketball. You know what I mean? So like if you get hurt in a meaningless Pro Bowl game, that it's a business decision. Essentially, it's a business decision. People just don't want to get hurt in something that means nothing. Because you get hurt in something meaningless, that'll cost you millions of dollars and pretty much could potentially cost you your career. You know what I mean? So I get it. And then like I feel like they try to make it too much like the NBA, where you got like
Three-point
the
contest.
spectacular catch, which is like the equivalent supposed to be the equivalent to like a dunk contest where they're jumping off a trampoline, which looks so stupid.
Yeah.
Like I like the quarterback competition because it makes you think of remember the old skills competitions they used to
Right.
have, where it was like they were hitting the moving targets and they were running and trying to see who could throw the furthest, and
Yeah.
you had players like Rich Gannon, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady, and all those guys with this. Like that's cool,
That's the
but like
golden era, man. I miss
the
those
the, the,
guys.
the thing is, All-Star games are it's tough because like All-Star games are pointless.
Right.
All-Star games are pointless, and then they're at the end of the season and like nobody cares. Like the Super Bowl's over. No, we're almost gonna be over, so nobody really gives a shit. The only two sport I think football's the only sport that has it at the end of the season.
Yeah. The other
I
two
think
have it.
baseball
The other two
baseball's in
have
the
it
middle.
mid-season.
Yeah, baseball's in the middle, hockey's in the middle, and
Basketball
so
too.
is basketball. Yeah,
Yeah.
basketball's in the middle. So like, but they're also like less physically demanding sports in a sense. Like when I say less physically demanding, I mean You're not. People are getting beat up on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I feel like we're coming with a lot of complaints, not a lot of answers. But I don't think there is a right answer because I think you have to move away from the full contact of the the early 2000s because people don't want to get hurt in something meaningless that could cost them millions of dollars later, especially when they don't have that guaranteed money.
Yeah, but my solution was like they do have they like during not training camps, but when they practice, they still do contact. They know how to play not full speed tackle. Do that. Not
Yes,
this
but the thing
flag.
is,
This flag thing was
but the thing is,
so boring.
remember what it used to be like the end of the full contact. It was a joke.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was a
that was
joke.
a joke.
Line like
That was a
they
joke.
snap the ball and linemen would just stand up. You know what I mean? Linemen
It
would
was
just stand up
sad. It was sad, man.
and like 25% fake shove each other, and then like the running backs were like running for like 60, 70 yards every play.
It
Nobody wants to. They don't want to take those hits because even if you're hitting people at 75%, 50%, like that's still wear and tear on each other's bodies. Whether it's lesser wear and tear, still wear and tear, and they don't want to have to take unnecessary beating that could hurt them in the long run and cost them more money in the long run.
so my solution, let's say they keep it this way, is to one move it after the Super Bowl still because
Yeah,
we just robbed the Chiefs and
yeah.
the Eagles players because some of those players are first time Pro Bowlers and cannot experience it. We don't know
Like
if they're
not
gonna
just that.
make it.
Joe Burrow didn't go. Josh Allen didn't go. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like all these
There's
guys just
so
aren't going.
that's what we need that at the end where we like
So
it's like a vacation. But I want it where
it is.
it's showcased in another country. Take the Pro Bowl to
Yeah.
Mexico City. Take the Pro Bowl to Dublin, Ireland. Take the Pro Bowl
To
to
be completely
London.
honest, I think they should do that for all sports. To be completely honest,
Just
because
showcase it
the
globally.
thing is like you want to grow the international brand, and the NFL is so far behind in that, and
Yeah.
so when you compare it to basketball and you compare it to football
Baseball.
or baseball, sorry, basketball and baseball, like it's so far behind. Like think about it. Think about how I mean, you probably couldn't do something like that because it'd be more wear and tear, which is literally the opposite of what I was saying. But think about doing something like a FIBA championship or like a World Baseball Classic, but doing something like that for football. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think that would be cool. But like they're
They
so far
have to.
behind something. They're so far behind stuff like baseball and basketball are such big international sports. I mean, nothing's ever going to beat out soccer internationally, but there's such big international sports that like you get all these players from all over, you know?
Maybe I maybe I'm overthinking this, but because of the Pro Bowl's contact, maybe that's why they use regular season games to go overseas so they can see a full real game, I guess. I think
Yeah, I
see
don't.
now that we're talking, I can see it and why they do that. But
I think. I
stop
think.
taking trash ass teams over there because you're not doing the sport justice by sending them. Hey, there you go with the Green Phantom. But you're not doing the sport justice by giving the worst teams out there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
I think it would be hard to gain fans if you bring a diluted product overseas.
yeah, I had to think about that.
Yeah, because like no one's gonna want to see a flag football fucking Pro Bowl in Germany or England. Like that's not what the sport is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I can
think
see
at
it.
that point in time, I think at that point in time, you do a disservice.
All right,
So
so there it is. Last week's bullshit thing called a Pro Bowl. We're now at the Super Bowl week. We'll have another episode where we talk about the results later. But we want to talk about our quick pick'ems. This is our, if you want to talk, this is our very last quick pick'em for the season.
yeah,
But it's not a
till
quick
next
pick'em
year.
because we're gonna talk about what we think
It
about
doesn't
this
have to
game.
be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It could be a preview. Yeah.
So we got the Eagles and the Chiefs in Arizona, Glendale to be exact. Who do you got?
In I'm a preface this prior to
Don't be
it.
biased either.
No, no. Well, I'm going for the Eagles. That's for sure. I'm going personally. I'm going for the Eagles, but like there's no way this could not be a good game. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I think the key to the Eagles is they gotta get started, be aggressive early. Because I think if the Chiefs get up early, they're not gonna give up that lead. I don't think they give up that lead. Uh, I think the key is what they do in the running game with Pacheco and McKinnon with Kansas City. I think that's going to be key. But I don't know. Like I I fuck it, man. I'm I'm picking the Chiefs to win because I think I this is my unbiased. I'm picking the Chiefs to win, but I'm going for the Eagles. To be completely honest with you, but I
Do
feel
this
like
all the time.
I can't personally root for the Chiefs. Can you root for the Cardinals or Seattle or anybody in the playoffs
Touche.
or the
Touche.
Rams?
Touche.
Like I can't do that. Like
Touche. Touche. So for me, I just think like you. I hope everyone's healthy during this whole game. Okay, that's
yeah,
one. And two,
yeah,
this is gonna be to me. I think it's gonna be a real like offensive type of game, back and forth. You're gonna see a lot of things, and also it's history. First time two African American quarterbacks compete against each other
yeah.
in a Super Bowl. That's another thing. Oh,
I,
on Black History Month, that's another
I'm
thing.
interested.
It's
I'm interested to see how the Eagles defense responds to the improvisational stuff that the Chiefs do.
what's crazy is this.
So
You got a Mahomes that is not 100%
I don't know.
mobility
I mean,
wise.
he had a high ankle sprain, but the thing is, like, that was like 3 weeks ago. Like, he's a lot better now than he was in the last game he played, and he
Right.
was
So
great in the
what I'm
last game he played.
saying, take it from a
You
guy
know,
that
I mean,
has the worst ankles in the world when I used to play basketball.
no, I
Uh,
feel that.
it's not
I
that
feel
easy
that.
to come back, especially when you have four people that are 6'4", 275 pounds or more chasing you. Uh, but if anyone can do it, you already know Mahomes can do it. So for me, I think if the Eagles take away Travis Kelsey, which you love and adore, I think they have a chance if they can keep Mahomes on his heels. I think they have a chance. Eagles team. It's not once we talk because we're going to talk about the offseason next. That Eagles team right now is ready, and I really think
Yeah,
for me, I'm not betting against the Chiefs. I think this is an Andy Reid middle finger to the Eagles
but
for firing
what's
him. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to win experience from Andy Reid versus Sirianni, who just this is his first year, and Jalen Hurts' first year. I think that Mahomes being in the Super Bowl for the third time with the experience with Travis Kelce, I think that's going to win over talent. It's their experience.
yeah. What's wild is I feel like the Eagles team has no home, right? And I don't
Agreed.
like. Yeah, they have no holes, and I don't think come the offseason, like you can't get much better than what you got. You know what I mean? Like I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
talk. I'm gonna talk about that Eagles
if you're
team
gonna win, you need to win today.
right now.
Because you're not gonna
Yes,
get better. One, you're not gonna get better, and two, you're not gonna keep everybody.
at all.
Like, so you need to win now, and you don't have a proven history of the revolving door of players that like Kansas City has and been able to have that success. So like you need to win now because Kansas City is going to be inevitable every year. But I don't know
Even
if Philly will
look,
be. I don't know if
even when they
Philly will
losing.
be in. Yeah, I don't know if Philly will be inevitable every year. So,
So, so I'm glad. So you said you got Philly.
but no, I got Kansas City, but I'm rooting for Philly.
All right. I'm going also with the experience again. I'm going with the Chiefs as well.
Yeah, you
But
have to.
like you, I'm rooting for them because there's a lot of players I like on that Eagles team. I'm a
Yeah,
huge AJ Brown fan, and I'm a huge Jordan Mailata fan who came from
I'm
Australia.
I'm a huge Jason Kelsey fan. I like us big boys, bro.
Jordan, oh yeah, Jordan Davis
Jason,
from Georgia. I'm a huge fan of his. Like, there's a lot
and
of players on the Eagles that I'm like,
I'm a
yeah,
huge I'm a huge Fletcher Cox fan. That motherfucker is a mammoth, bro.
yeah,
That dude's a mammoth,
yeah,
dog.
and he's still doing it at this old age. Is what's crazy
Yes,
too.
that man
He's
is a
doing
mammoth. He's
it. All right.
massive.
So we talked about the conference championship. We talked about the Pro Bowl week. We gave our predictions. Now, for me, my
Mm-hmm.
favorite part, and we'll get even more into this later down the line, is the off
Mm-hmm.
season for a lot of these teams. I want to talk to you about your team. What do you think about the off season? What do you want to see in the off season? What you predict and all that stuff? Because I'm gonna do the same thing with the Niners, but I also want to do it for other teams that are also in the playoffs and so on and so forth.
All right, so with my team, there's a lot of question marks. Okay, and Derek Carr's in New Orleans, and that's a whole thing now. They're trying to figure that out. I don't think they get that trade off, and I think Derek Carr they release him and he goes to New Orleans anyways. I think that's probably the high IQ play because why would you want the Raiders to get anything back? You know what I mean?
Right.
But you need a quarterback. That's one. Um, I don't think any of these quarterbacks in the draft is it. To be completely honest with you, I think probably the best one that's going to be out of all of them would be the cat from Alabama, but I think he's going to be
Bryce Young.
undersized. Yeah, I think he's going to be undersized. Um, I don't think the answer's there, and I don't think the answer is going after Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers is my guy, I got an Aaron Rodgers jersey upstairs. That's a bad man still. But I don't think a 38, 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers is the guy because you're going to have to give up a lot for him.
Right.
And I don't want to, and I'm not, I've never been the guy who wants to mortgage his future for the now in sports. I don't believe doing that. Unless the only reason I'm okay with doing that is if you're like, say you're like in the Rams position and like you're there and you just need, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're there to compete, that's different. But like if you know, like Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna fix our defense.
True.
You know what I mean? Like Aaron Rodgers is not gonna fix the defense. And the defense was the biggest issue. Granted, yes, we were losing 1 point games, but like that's nothing the defense couldn't fix. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. You need some linebackers, you need some corners, and you need a quarterback. But I think if it was me, I would go after Brissett for now. Brissett can handle just fine, and then fucking I'm making a run after Caleb Williams next year. I'm making a run after Caleb Williams next year. I'm trading the house for it. The
Man,
house. I'm trading everything. Everything I got. I'm Ricky Williams trading for Caleb Williams.
that's a lot, bro.
Yep. All 7 picks. Take them.
Man, that's
Yours.
crazy. So for the 49ers, all it is, of course, we all know the quarterback situation. They're both injured. Jimmy G's gone. We already know that. When it comes to it, it's just how much can you hold together with the cap space? You know what I mean? All the
Yeah.
prime players are being paid. The only two that haven't been paid yet are Brandon Ayuk and Nick Bosa. You will have to pay the most to keep Nick Bosa on this team. He has to be the most paid defensive player because of what he did this year, being the defensive player of the year. You gotta pay him. So when it comes to the Niners, not having draft capital this year. Besides, D'Amico Ryan's leaving. Shout out to him going to
See?
Houston. You get a pick back from that. So the Niners know how to get picks with hiring colored players. Shout out to the Rooney Rule. Now, when it comes to San Francisco losing players, they're going to lose a lot. They're going to lose a lot of players, but a lot of them are, yeah, we could afford it. Jimmy
Yeah.
Ward right now is I think he's going to Texas. I think he's going to Houston with D'Amico. I really think that because he was mad about a lot of things. He's been on social media talking about how he didn't like being a no, not didn't like, but he was disappointed that he got his safety spot taken, and he became a pure nickel back, where he's
Yeah.
pretty good at. I really hope he comes back, but at the same time, I think he's gone and he's gonna go and
Yeah.
help D'Amico resurrect Houston. I think Aziz Shahir, who I believe is a starting Pro Bowl linebacker, who unfortunately
Yeah.
is
Aziz
a
is dope.
yeah. Unfortunately, he's the third linebacker behind two other really good linebackers. I think he
I'd love
deserves
him.
to
I'd
go.
love him in Vegas.
Yeah, I think he's getting paid, and he's gonna get paid so much that we can't afford him. So, hey, shout out to him. I know he's gone. The only people I do wish we keep, because McGlinchey, bye. You could go. Yo ass been so suspect. Go play with Nelson at the Colts. I really hate the shit out of his blocking scheme, bro. Every time someone gets hurt,
Ain't that
it's usually coming off of his side of the freaking ball. Look at Purdy. Yeah, the tight end was Tyler Croft is the reason why Hassan went over there and whooped his ass on that one play, but
Yeah.
it's still the right side. They pick on the right side for what a reason. I hope we get Isaiah Wynn from the Patriots. I really hope we could get him to side that. I'm happy Trent Williams said he's not retiring, so we got one more year with the GOAT. Um,
Yeah.
but McGlinchey, you can leave. I ain't tripping
That's a
about it.
top five. That's a top five all time left tackle.
All time, bro. And they talk
Yeah.
about how athletic he is. A lot of these people like Compton from the boys are bussing. Like they were like, bro, this man was playing point guard in pickup games. Like, bro,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
peak male. What do you call it? Peak male performance. Right there.
Yes. Yes.
That man is good. But
Yes.
I like the fact that I think Brock Purdy deserves to start, and it's Trey Lance's job to try to take. And I think it brings both the competition brings both of those two to 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 their best next year. So uh, that's all I have to say about the Niners. Like it's just money. Just know how to manage that cap. We know we have to. Ayuk and Bosa are the next ones to get paid. After that, you
Yeah.
have you have to you have to win a Super Bowl in this small window. You have like two
Yeah.
years.
You got
You have
three.
2 years, 2 to 3.
Yeah.
I'll give. Okay, you said 3, 2 to 3.
Because Brock has 3 more years left on that contract. This is a 4-year contract, right?
Yes. So this is the thing that I like about it too is because we're cheap at the most expensive position. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm segueing to the Philadelphia Eagles is because you got Jalen Hurts, MVP candidate,
About
who's
to get
on a
paid.
rookie deal, right? And he's about to get paid, like you said. But if you look down that roster, how many people are leaving? Chauncey Gardner Johnson's a free agent. You have
Oh,
Ndamukong Suh, T.J. Edwards, Kazir
yeah.
White. You have Jason Kelsey's a free agent, but we all know that if he wins, he might retire. You got James Bradbury, you have Javon Hargrave, Brandon Graham, Robert Quinn, Fletcher Cox. All these people are free agents this year. How do you pay
Yeah.
all of them when you have to
You
pay
can't.
your quarterback? So that's why
You
I'm
can't.
saying. That's why I'm saying this is so clutch for the Eagles. While the owner understood that it's a win now situation, while he went all in
Yeah.
this year. When they lost to Washington this year, what did he do? He went and got Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph to solidify that D line to make sure that they had people
Yeah.
to back up Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox. He went all in, and this is it because next year's not promised. You're gonna pay your quarterback, and then all these other
And
players like
people
C.J.
and like
Gardner
people
Johnson,
don't understand. Like it's hard to go to get to the Super Bowl.
right?
It is hard, and to get back like repeatedly is like impossible. Like it is hard. Granted. Luckily, they got back to the Super Bowl like 3 or 4 years later. But like, it is hard for
It's
like
hard.
it's like enduring. Yes.
It really is hard. Like I said, C.J. Gardner Johnson's he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. He should have been the starting safety, but that's a guy that I'm looking at and thinking he might be gone. Even Marcus Epps, another safety. I think both of those
Yeah.
two. Well, you got to think. I think Marcus Epps comes back because he'll be a cheaper player. C.J. Gardner Johnson, he's gonna get paid somewhere. He's gonna get
You
paid
got.
good.
I think you keep the younger players and you let the older players like Fletcher Cox walk. And I love Fletcher Cox, but I think you let players like that go because you can keep those younger players in the long term and try and draft the replacements for the older players. That's
Yeah,
what I
in
would
a
do.
sense, but I don't know
In a
about.
sense.
I
In a sense.
agree. I agree to the extent, but like Fletcher Cox is Philly, man. Like
Yeah,
that.
no. I get it, but the thing is, like,
I
listen,
can't see him in another jersey, man. That's
it's
crazy.
also it's also a business. So
It is. It
I get
is.
it. I get it. But like, you got to let the older guys walk, keep the younger guys, and then hope for the best.
What do you think
So
about other teams like our one of our favorite teams, the Detroit Lions? What do you think they should be doing this offseason?
it'd be nice if they got Fletcher Cox, huh?
That'll be a good.
Nice if they got,
That'll be a good spot.
they got Fletcher Cox, huh? You got to attack defense. If you're Detroit, you got to attack defense. You had the worst defense in the league, and you got to get players around Okuda, and you got to get players around Hutchinson because
Right.
those are going to be your two cornerstone defensive pieces. Like, you gotta get another pass rusher. If I'm the Lions, I'm looking for another star pass rusher, and I'm looking for maybe a safety, a prime safety, or a strong linebacker. But the pass rusher, you need that. You're not gonna get by just on one pass rusher. You need multiple. Get at least one this year. Build your defense up. Get another corner or another linebacker, another safety, and then start building those depth pieces around it. You got the building blocks. Like, the offense is fine. If you want to maybe get another receiver, oh, you got Jameson Williams. No, you don't even need another receiver. You're fine.
I love
Like, you're
JMO,
really
man.
fine.
JMO's my
Yeah,
guy,
you're
bro.
really fine. You're really fine in Detroit. Maybe if you want to work on the O line, maybe you can. But like, when it comes to like the key pieces there, straight good defense.
Yeah, it's got to be defense. You are absolutely right. I'm looking down this line about defensive players being out there. You want to talk about linebackers? I think a lot of those Patriot type linebackers should be going over there. You know, like the likes of what is his name? Where is he at? What is he at? I was just looking at his name. Anyways, those type of players because we know where the Bush comes from with that coach,
Like,
right?
yeah, if I'm Jacksonville, receiver, I need a star receiver. Yes,
They
you have
got.
Calvin Ridley.
I was about to say
I
they
don't
got
give a
Calvin Ridley back.
damn. Yeah, you know who they should go after? D Hop.
Mm. So you would like to see three wide receiving sets over there. That's
Yes,
that's that's crazy.
yes, yes,
That's a big one right
yes.
there. I didn't even think about that stuff.
Really,
That
really, really, honestly, what they need is corners. Honestly, what they need is corners.
let me see what the corners are looking like in here. Man, when I talk about man off season, I'm gonna tell you, man, that's my favorite position. My favorite part of the season is how do teams improve. Jacksonville is one, and so is the Lions. But another team that I like to talk about is the Seattle Seahawks and what they should be doing, especially because I'm an NFC West fan. When it comes to the Seahawks, they have not only improved with the draft that they did this year. Shout out to Tariq Woolen, the cornerback that placed second, I believe, behind Sauce Gardner in the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then
Yeah,
shout out to K9. Shout out to him, Kenneth Walker the third. Is it the third or the fourth? It don't matter. The seventh, the
Seattle,
eighth.
Seattle's Seattle's in like such a weird place because like they
It's
don't have
such
any
a
holes either. They just need to
they
get better. Like, they just need to
it's
get
such a
like they just
but
need to
it's
like
such a good
grow.
place. Think about it though. They have draft capital. They have money. They don't have a lot of players that are paid. So you see it on the defensive and offensive side. When I look at this team, bro, you still got a lot of great players on this team. I would say solidify your D line because you really don't have an identity on that D line. You have a lot of good players, but I'd say just like you said for the Lions, go get a pass rusher. a
Yeah.
solidified one, and then
Yes.
they have a top 5 pick. So depending on how they use it, that you could get Will Anderson if no one if the Bears don't get him.
Oh,
But
that would be disgusting. But I think the Bears are going
yes,
to draft Will Anderson.
and as a Niner fan, I don't want to see that guy in our division.
Yeah, that would be disgusting.
But
Yeah.
the team has top to bottom when it comes to the front office, even to the roster. Where the only hole is, yes, I like Gino's. First of all, let's talk about this. Gino won Comeback Player of the Year. What the fuck did he come back from?
It doesn't have to be an injury that you come back from for comeback player of the year. Doesn't have you don't have to you didn't have to have almost died the year before to be comeback
Mario,
player of the year.
you had to
But
come back. You had to come back to something that you used to be.
he was a first round draft pick, right? No, second round draft pick. He was highly touted, like he was like the guy.
This was
And
his
that's
best year ever.
yes.
So how do you come back to something like this when you never had this?
Well, maybe he should be like showed up player of the year. I don't know,
No,
man.
he should have been he should have been most improved player. That's what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying.
that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one.
Saquon
That's the
Barkley,
that's the one.
Saquon Barkley, that guy got robbed for that trophy. I don't
Yeah,
care. Gino, congrats to your great season, but at the same time, you didn't come back to nothing. Saquon was up there, took a
yeah,
L,
most
and
improved
came
player.
back. Most improved is what he should have got.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't have that
I
trophy,
forgot.
but oh, see, now he's gone. Hopefully, he gets back. But well, look, we need a comeback Mario of the year right now. So
My bad.
so yeah, that was my thing. But quarterback wise for them, go and get a quarterback during this draft. I mean, to me, Stanford, Tanner McKee, I think he's going to be good. But that's beside the point. I'm not thinking C.J. Stroud is going to be good.
No
Alabama,
Ohio State quarterback has ever been good.
yeah, I've
None.
always said that.
None.
I've
None.
always said that. So he's out the picture. Alabama has proved their point because I've always said no to them. But now you have Jalen
The
Hurts, Tua,
thing is,
and
like, it's hard for the most part to draft from big schools when they have all these weapons around them. You know what I mean?
I
Think about
remember
all the
you
big name
made that point
Yeah,
before.
yes, all the big name quarterbacks, like minus what's his name in Philly, like who played in Oklahoma, like that's Jalen Hurts, my bad. That's fuck, I forgot his name. Minus him, like all these quarterbacks were not like big school quarterbacks. Burrow was, Mahomes was not,
Right.
you know. Brock Purdy isn't.
Mm-mm.
Neither was Trey Lance, and neither was Garoppolo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Quarterbacks come out of nowhere.
Fact, bro.
It's very
I
hard.
think Will. I think
Like, say it again.
yeah. I think Will Levis might be that dude. If you think about it,
He
think
has
about the
all.
school that he came. Like he's got the tools, and like he didn't have it. I think he might be that guy. He might be that fucking. We'll see.
Look at Mahomes. He wasn't looked at like that coming out of Texas Tech. No one
Mahomes is like
talked about him like
84
that.
every year.
They never
And
saw that. That's a good point. What's another team? Because Seattle's that team for me. Like I said, they have the picks, they have the money, so they can buy players, they can draft players with very like low round picks. Like they have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, thanks to Denver. Shout out to Denver for that. But to see that team, what other team do you see doing big stuff in the offseason? And you're on mute.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. There was what team was the team that had the biggest salary cap this year or next year coming up? There's one team that's supposed to have like 90 million almost in salary cap.
I want to say it was the Texans.
That's tough. Texas is a tough situation because like I don't know if you want to go to Houston. You know what I mean? Not
If
like
you
not like as in the city or the location, but I mean like as in like the front office and ownership is just like awful. They're awful. You know what I mean? Like so I just
What
like
do
I
you
don't know if that's
what do you think
I
they
don't
do
know
with
if,
the second pick?
I think they go quarterback.
You think that's Bryce Young right there?
Like I think they go quarterback, but I don't think it like amounts to anything, regardless of who they draft. You know what
So
I mean?
you,
Like I don't think whoever they draft is gonna fix their situation and make them any better.
for the for the early part of the future, yes, I agree. But what do you think? All right, so let's look at
But like
this. All
who?
right,
But the thing is, like, who wants to go to Houston? Nobody. Nobody wants to be put in that shitty situation.
it depends because now you have a respected coach who used to be a player. You know what I mean? Part of the Bush, by the way.
I know he's one of your Bush people, but like, regardless, uh, like,
Because I know Aziz and Jimmy Ward for sure. Not surprised if they leave and go there and start his defense over there. That's
I,
me.
I don't know if like Houston's a situation anybody's gonna want to go.
Shit, money talks. Especially when you have that money.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. I've watched the Raiders throw money at aging players for years, and it meant nothing. That means nothing. Means
All right.
absolute shit.
So before we go, let's
Means
talk about
nothing.
this NFL draft. Let's talk about the draft. I'm gonna talk to you about the picks one through. Let's go. We'll go 1 through 8 because your Raiders are top 8. Um,
Okay.
so we got Chicago Bears pick 1. Where do you see them picking or drafting, bar any uh draft trades? Just
I
if
think
they
they I,
pick.
I think they trade out. I,
Interesting.
I think they trade out because they already have a quarterback, and you got quarterback needy teams like the Colts, you got quarterback needy teams like Houston, and I would say Detroit as well, the Raiders as well, Atlanta, Carolina, Tennessee, the Jets, Green Bay possibly, Washington, like are all quarterback needy teams. And I think you could get a ransom for those players. If they don't trade out, I think they you draft Will Anderson.
You have to. You
Yeah, you have to.
you
Because
have to.
you don't need a quarterback, and you would look stupid drafting a quarterback when you already have one who just led the league in rushing. Granted, you don't want your quarterback leading the league in rushing, but you know,
I think they go defense also, especially the Bears being the Bears. They're always known for defense.
yeah,
I I see them getting Will Anderson as well, but I can see them trade away the first pick to someone like you said to go back
yeah,
and they'll still trade to one of those teams that are top 5, like the Colts. Like if the Colts want to get Bryce Young that bad, go ahead and
yeah.
trade. So I can see that happening too. But I got them. Houston Texans we already talked about. I think they're going
Bryce
quarterback.
Young.
It's Bryce
I think
Young.
it's Bryce Young as long as nobody trades ahead of him.
Fair. What happens if you think like say the Colts go first, pick Bryce Young first overall? Where do you think the Texans go from there? Do they take does D'Amico like licks his chops about Jalen Carter or freaking Will Anderson or
If
do they
if
get their
Will
quarterback?
if Will Anderson is there, you take Will Anderson, regardless of what you got.
That's crazy. So we're gonna stick with
Like if
we're gonna
Will
stick with
Anderson,
Davis Mills from
take
Stanford.
Will Anderson. You take Will Anderson. Yeah, the thing is, like, yeah, but the thing, like, Davis Mills, like, isn't bad, and
He isn't.
you have other problems in Houston. So, like, if they draft a quarterback, it's going to be solely to put asses in seats. But you don't miss out on Will Anderson like that.
I think he's generational. I hope I'm right.
Yes, yes,
I think
like
he's
you don't miss
generational,
out
man.
on Will Anderson.
I think D'Amico Ryan's would be like I said, he would be like so happy to have him on his defense.
Yeah,
We're going to the third pick right now. We got Arizona, a team that has been dismembered. Shout out to Kingsbury because he's supposedly going to sign with the Houston Texans as the offensive coordinator. He wants to be part of the Bush, so he's going to go
yeah,
there. But Arizona, I don't know if they got a head coach yet, but they don't have an identity. And JJ Watt leaving, retired. What do you see this team going? Like, I think they should trade out of this, but I think Jalen Carter's the pick.
I think you trade out of it, but I also think you say Jalen Carter. I think they go for offensive line help and go Paris Johnson.
The left tackle.
Yeah, I
I
think you
don't.
go. I think you go Paris Johnson and start working on protecting Kyler Murray.
He's still
I,
hurt
I
too.
think I think they reached a little bit for him because you need a lineman.
That's true, man. I don't know. Damn. So we're making Jalen Carter go because we know Indianapolis next is not taking Jalen Carter. Oh, that is tough. So we have the Colts next, and they're a
So
quarterback needing team.
so we're hypothetically saying Bryce Young is off the board, so I think they'll go with CJ Stroud there.
I think your boy Levis goes there, bro.
I
I think
maybe.
I
I
think
I
CJ I
feel
think
like
CJ
I,
drops.
I think Levis falls to the Raiders as much as I am very skeptical about it.
Mm. Yeah,
I think that's
but see now if we think about it now that we're talking, we just said the Bears take Will Anderson, the Texans take
yep,
Bryce Young,
yep.
Cardinals is taking the left tackle Paris, and now the Colts are taking who are we gonna say is taking them? We're gonna say C.J. Stroud. That's
I think the Colts take them.
yeah. So now that we took Stroud, Bryce Young, bro, Jalen Carter is. I don't see him as a Seahawk.
I see him as a Seahawk.
I see him. I see him later,
The
like the
thing is, like,
next pick.
I see him in Seattle or Detroit. Just like I also see Tyree Wilson in Seattle or Detroit. I think both of those two are interchangeable.
Tyree Wilson, talk
And
to me about him. Is that
I
the
think I
is that the
the guy
outside
from Texas
linebacker?
Tech. No, yeah, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah,
dude's
yeah.
gonna be. I think I'm like, and I think he's gonna be the best edge rusher of the group.
Ooh, that's a good take
I
right
think
there.
I think he
You
is,
talked
and like
highly
nobody.
about him before.
Yes, the dude's a beast, bro. And I hope I'm not wrong. I really hope I'm not wrong, but I think he's gonna be the best edge rusher of the group, and like nobody's talking about this guy.
So my thing is who are you gonna take for Seattle? Are you gonna take Jalen Carter, like who I believe was a top five pick, and now he's about to?
I,
Or are you
I
gonna
think
take
I
your
think
boy?
J- I think Jalen Carter goes to Seattle. I think he'd be a good fit there.
Which means you know who's going to the Lions.
I think it would be Tyree Wilson. And I think you pair Tyree Wilson with Aiden Hutchinson, and
We
you
just
have
talked about
your
that.
pass rusher duo of the future for the next 5 to 7 years.
I always talked about this too, and
I I,
my
I feel like I feel like Tyree Wilson is very Josh Allen like to
hmm,
me from Jacksonville. I see that, and I think he's very Josh Allen like.
hmm. That's a good comparison. He's a stud over there. But I always talked about this, and my boy Johnson didn't agree. But when it comes to like me being, if I was ever a GM, you always got to do three things. And I remember Hurd said this too. One, you have to have a quarterback.
Yep.
Two, you must protect that quarterback. And
Yep.
then three, you must disrupt the opponent's quarterback. Those are
Yep.
the three. Those are the three, four things you must do. And
Yep.
and what we're talking about right now with the Lions having their tandem, that's one. And then
I
they already have a good line with Penei Sewell and them boys.
Bro, I would
And
love
oh
to
man,
see Tyree Wilson in Detroit.
I
I'm
was
telling you, if he puts on a little bit more weight, dude's gonna be disgusting. And like nobody's talking about this guy. I think Tyree Wilson is gonna be the
yeah.
best. That's not me saying Will Anderson's gonna be bad. I think Will Anderson's gonna be great. But that's how great I think Tyree Wilson is gonna be. I think he's gonna be that dude, bro.
So
Telling you.
now we're at the seventh pick where your team picks. Where do you see your team going with this?
Either one of two players. I think. Well, I think it's one of four players. To be completely honest with you, I see either Will Levis, I see Anthony Richardson, I see Joey Porter Jr., and then I see Peter Skoronsky.
So Joey Porter Jr. I like for y'all, but y'all really cornerback wise, I don't think y'all are that bad. I
No,
like what y'all
well, the
got.
thing is, like, it depends if they trade that first round for fucking Aaron Rodgers. To be completely honest with you, and then we won't be having this conversation. But as of right now, like, I think if it's me, fuck it. Sign Brissett, draft Will Levis, let him sit behind Brissett, and then see what he is.
What's the Florida quarterback name again?
Anthony Richardson.
I don't buy him. Like I don't know why people are
I don't
so high on him.
I don't either, but I it's one thing I know. I know my head coach likes Florida Gators, so I don't I don't know, man. I don't know. Remember the last Florida Gator he fell in love with? Tim Tebow, dog. Tim Tebow, bro.
That's
But
why I'm laughing.
yeah, dog. I don't I like, and I think Anthony Richardson's like gonna be another version of that. To be real with you, but I think he's gonna be a lesser Trey Lance. Not Trey Lance. Not Trey Lance. Justin Fields. That's what I mean. A lesser Justin Fields.
I'm about to say because we don't know shit about Trey
No,
Lance.
not Trey Lance. Justin Fields. Chicago.
All right, well, we're gonna round it off before we close it up with the Atlanta Falcons. Where do you see them going? That sounds like that sounds like a quarterback. I don't know if they're gonna go quarterback. What do you think?
I, I don't know if there's gonna be a quarterback there,
Mm.
but they're not. Where's he at? I'm fucking trying to see. Is Breesy coming out in the draft this year? Because I feel like he would be good there.
Who?
Brian Breesy from Clemson.
I don't
Let's take a
think I've
look.
seen his name. I didn't see his name. I'm looking too. I don't know. The Falcons have a lot, again, shout out to my boy
They have a lot
Thor. He
of
hasn't been
holes.
on. They have too much. They have too many holes. I don't get
They
why
have a lot
some
of
of
holes.
these. I don't get why a lot of players or teams, not teams, but people that I talk to think that a lot of things are coming to the Falcons. Like, for example, Lamar Jackson. They keep telling me that Atlanta's a spot. I'm like, why would he go to Atlanta? Like, why
I
would he
think.
leave
I,
his
I
spot?
think. I could see Jordan Addison in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's
They
good. That's a good spot.
You pair him
I hear
with
you.
who's that tight end they got? Fucking
Oh, you
what's the
talking about
tight
the
end's
guy?
name, bro?
Talking about the guy that never freaking gets a touchdown unless he's in Europe or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
I don't know his name. I
You
forgot his name.
you pair them together. I think that's a good combination. You worry about the quarterback situation next year. You still have Mariota, he's serviceable, and you still got the cat out of Cincinnati, Ritter. And I think
Yeah.
you kind of just see what they got. You there?
Yeah. No, I'm there. That's my boys were talking to me. Falcons again. I don't know what. Maybe Joey Porter Jr. goes there to pair up with Terrell over there. That's a good little tandem. But
Yeah.
other than that, man, again, Mario, you enjoy this Super Bowl as much as you can. I'm not gonna
I
enjoy
will.
it as much. But as in my heart as a Niner fan, I hope they tie and they share this fucking Super Bowl.
I'm an Eagles fan today, and this is the first Super Bowl that I can watch in a little bit. Well, I mean Cincinnati last year, but this is like one of the first Super Bowls in a while that I can actually watch it because I can root for a team. The Niners and Chiefs, I was like, I hope y'all both fucking lose. I was like, I can watch it. I was like, I'm not watching this shit. What do I watch these two teams that I hate? I'm not watching this. I don't
Yeah,
give a fuck
man.
about that
Hey,
game.
listen. All right, like, comment, subscribe to the Flex podcast. This is the Route Tree. This is literally the
Okay.
second to the last episode of this season. I look forward to seeing more of my boys come in to schedule. Mario, you've been that guy for me for been clutch. So again, enjoy the rest of this day. Enjoy it with your family. I hope that like I said, I hope they both tie and they have to split that trophy in half. My boy, I'm gonna see you.
Oh, Super Bowl champions.